Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 1284. Yes, episode number 1284 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. Live today again from the San Francisco Bay Trail here at Bear Island in Redwood City, California, where I live. Climate best by government test. A little bit cooler today. It's about 75, 76 degrees. It's been like 85 plus for the last several days, so it's really nice to have it cool off a little bit. It's a gorgeous day, and I'm out and about for my walk, like I said, and have a lot to talk about here today. Today's topic is I have the right. Hey babe, how are you doing? Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Dawn is in the house. I have the right to defend myself from continuous commercial exploitation. One more time. Today's topic is I have the right to defend myself from continuous commercial exploitation, primarily by the defendant in my circuit civil case. Right? His name is Jamie. And because I've been defending myself against all of the paid targeted harassment smear campaign he's done to me for the last 6+ years, because I defend myself on that and respond to it and make the public aware of what's really going on to defend my reputation and my honor, he's trying to paint me as a limited purpose public figure so he can have a better shot of getting this case dismissed on April 9th at the motion to dismiss / anti-slap. You see, this is the thing about Jamie. He tells his whole story on YouTube, whether he says it or not. Whenever he's having issues with someone, let's say like a legal issue with me, he puts everything out there, tries to put it out there in a, how do I say this the right way? In a, an entertaining, in-your-face kind of way for his audience, right? He tries to make ridicule out of it, right? Hey, Lewis, how you doing? He tries to make ridicule out of it, right? And maybe that's part of his agenda, but it's also very telling as to his game plan regarding this case. It's quite obvious, right? And because we're having a brief 15-minute hearing this Monday regarding a video that he put to private, and I asked him for a copy of it, and he told me to go through the formal channels of discovery. And I did. And because the formal process of discovery takes 30 days, and the hearing that I need this video for is less than 30 days away, I filed a motion to expedite the discovery request. And he's been trying to make it seem like that piece of content is irrelevant, right? He's been saying that the motion to dismiss is about the four corners of the complaint. Babe, Are you there? Everything all good? Anyway. Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought because something happened. It's not a big deal. No worries. Oh yeah, he's saying it's irrelevant. The video is irrelevant because of the motion to dismiss is based on the four corners of the complaint. You're right about that, James. You're absolutely right about that. That video is not going to really have any relevance for that, but it has relevance for the anti-SLAPP portion, which you're not telling your audience that you are allowed to present evidence for the anti-SLAPP because you're accusing me of trying to strip you of your First Amendment rights, right? Which I'm not doing that. So you're basically trying to say that there is no point for Eli to request or have this piece of content because the motion to dismiss is based on the four corners of the complaint. Had you not filed an anti-SLAPP, you would probably be more so right about that. But the anti-SLAPP allows you to present evidence. Why do you think I've made so many notice of filings for anti-SLAPP hearing? Because you're allowed to do that. Okay? So that hearing is going to be this Monday. And I think he doesn't want me having that video because I do know some of the things that are on that video. And one of the things that was on that video was Coach Eli's greatest hits, right? And then ODN screen recorded part of it. So there are some other things on there. But I have the right to request that as a critical part of me being able to respond properly to the anti-SLAPP. So that hearing is going to be happening this Monday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific. How you doing, Lewis? Welcome. So that is that. Now let's talk about some other things that are going on. There's a lot going on. And the very first thing I want to talk about is this. All right, we're back live. Babe, can you hear me and see me? Sorry. Can you hear me and see me clearly, babe? Put a 1 in the chat. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's continue here. Sorry about that. I did go offline for a second. That was something that happened. Thank you, Lewis. So a couple of things here. Regarding yesterday's stream, I did put it to private. And I'll say this once again. For the defendant, if you would like a litigation-only copy of that, protected by our confidentiality agreement, I would be happy to send it to you right away. All you have to do is send me an email, and I'll send it to you. Just like I've said, any private video I put to private, I'm willing to send it to you. I'm not ashamed of what happened yesterday. It's just not something worthy of being kept public. I mean, there was a lot of space in there, and it It just was something that was not a good video. And I'm not ashamed of it. It's just not a video that people would understand. You people would understand. So you want a copy of it, feel free to email me, and I'll get it to you right away. So yesterday, I basically was at my wit's end. And I'm not going to lie, I'm still at my wit's end, but I've had time to, process everything and figure out, what the next best things are to do regarding this situation I'm in, regarding the defendant and other third parties that are involved within his ecosystem on YouTube. Am I coming through clearly without any cutouts? I want to make sure that people are hearing me. One in the chat, if you can hear me, please. Yes, thank you, babe. So here's what we're going to do. ODN, one of our executives, and let me make this very, very clear. I have the right to give permission to people that I can allow to use my content in any way, shape, or form. And I also have the right to not give other people permission. The only people that have permission to use my content are the GNA executives. That includes Dawn, Sandra, Tia, and ODN. And of course myself, because I create the damn content. It's my copyright. So Dawn, Tia, Sandra, and ODN have the rights to do whatever they want. I trust them with my content. If they're going to use it, they're going to do it for the right reason. With that being said, ODN and I have been coming up with some shows to create, and we have decided, because some people want to continue to use my content in real time, that ODN, every time that they use my content in real time, then ODN is going to react live to them. So basically, for the people that may be watching this stream unauthorized elsewhere, you now have a choice. If you're blocked here, you have a choice to go and watch it on ODN's channel. Now, I'm not sure. The numbers were higher, they're lower now, so I'm not sure if there's currently a rebroadcast going. I'm assuming there is, but if there is, then ODN is going to be doing his live reaction to the rebroadcast. Now, that's how we're going to continue to handle the situation, so we give people an opportunity to, keep the views of the GNA's content within the GNA executive team, whether it's here or on another channel that's authorized by us, such as ODN. Now, additionally, later tonight, about an hour after this stream is over, later tonight, ODN and I are going to go live, and we're going to react to and respond to what the defendant, Jamie, said on his stream yesterday. And so, if you want to check that out, we will be going live on ODN's channel approximately 1 hour or so. I'm hoping it'll be an hour. I'm going to run out and grab some food for Dawn and I, and then I'm going to head home. It should be about an hour, maybe just a little over an hour, maybe an hour and 5 or 10 minutes after this show ends. I'm going to be live on ODN's channel, and we're going to respond and correct the record from Jamie's stream last night. Additionally, and until further notice, every single time that either the defendant or anyone or any third party in his ecosystem discusses myself, rebroadcasts me, or uses my content in any way, shape, or form, we will be reacting to it live if possible. If not, we'll be reacting to it fairly shortly afterwards. But most of the time, if we are a part of the subject, then we will be doing it in real time. So just making you folks aware of that. So with that being said, let's talk about a couple of videos today that Jamie put out. He's trying to intentionally trigger me less than 2 days before a small hearing. And what are we now? 20 days away from, no, we're 19, sorry, I think we're 19 days away from the motion to dismiss / anti-SLAPP. We're 19 days away, right? Well, first of all, Mr. Jamie, you're not triggering me. But I'm going to respond publicly to correct the record, and at the same time to also make everyone aware that you can never ever predict an outcome in any court case. It is ultimately the presiding judge's decision, in this case, Judge Stacy, our judge. Okay? So anything that the defendant is trying to narrate to you folks in a video, a short video, on a live stream, or in a community posting is just his opinion, what he feels is going to happen, whatever, right? But he tries to frame it as concrete, right? Now, I'm not going to even get into the first video he put out today, but then he put out a second one. And, well, I'll say this. Both videos, he clipped me from streams of ODNs that I've been on recently, right? Because his thought process is I can't DMCA him when the content was on ODN's channel. He thinks I have no rights to it. What he doesn't understand is that it is still my name and likeness and I do have rights, and there are other things that can be filed, Jamie, such as a likeness complaint. And yeah, you do know that I have the likeness detection active on top of the copyright match tool on both channels. I could file a likeness complaint on those videos. It is using my actual voice, my actual audio. Secondly, Jamie, just because those videos are not publicly available doesn't mean that both Odian and I don't have a copy of them. We do. We have preserved a copy in full. And Odian can still file a copyright on both those videos where you clip me from, you know, the streams we did, right? But let's forget about that, because let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Let's talk about limited purpose public figures, right? So Jamie showed his cards on that video, and he's been showing his cards a lot lately because he's been talking about limited purpose public figure. I don't know, ODN. I don't know, ODN. How many people do you have over there on your end? How many people do you have over there on your end? I'm just wondering. Let me know how many you have over there. Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me. Thank you. You said 54, babe. Are you telling me there's 54 in ODN's chat? I was asking about ODN's chat. It sounds more like Bill's numbers because they're being inflated, being promoted by the defendant and his group. So ODN has 54 people there? Wow, really? That's great. Good for him. Excellent. So you said ODN has 54 there. Can you answer that one more time, babe? I want to make sure I got it right. Cool, cool. I have no idea, man. I have no idea. Anyway, let's continue here. Yeah, ODN is doing a live review on Bill's stream. Excellent job. Yeah. Excellent job. And it's my content anyway, so, you know, it's like it's my content. So let's talk about limited purpose public figures, okay? You know, the defendant, Jamie, wants to try to say I'm a limited purpose public figure. Let me first start off by saying this. Even if he wins that argument, it doesn't matter. Let me explain to you why it doesn't matter. Because I've already proven actual malice, and I've shown reckless disregard to the point of where it's not going to matter whether Judge Stacy sees me as a limited purpose public figure or as a private citizen. So the bottom line is, if you're considered a public figure or a limited purpose public figure, you're held to a little bit of a higher bar to prove stuff like defamation, right? And you need to show actual malice, and I have done that. So again, it's a moot point, but for sake of argument, let me explain to you why I feel I'm not a limited purpose public figure. Okay? First of all, I never ever injected myself into any of this with the defendant. He's the one that not only pulled me into this, he always pulls people into his, whatever you want to call it, his space, and commercially exploits these people. That's what he does, right? Now, here's the thing. You have to also prove that it's publicly concerning, right? What is so publicly concerning about a YouTuber like me wanting to stand up for my intellectual property rights, my copyrights, and to correct the record of all the slander and libel that the defendant has done over the years? Slander spoken, libel written, defamation, right? Do I not have the right to respond every time he defames me and correct the record? Do I not have the right to try to ask him to stop violating my copyright? That's all I've ever done. So, first of all, how is that publicly concerning? Right? And how is that me injecting myself into this situation? All I've ever done is protect myself from the wrongdoings of the defendant. That's it. The defendant has simulcasted me, rebroadcasted me at least 500 to 600 times in the last 6+ years. I personally have preserved, I believe, around 300 or maybe 350 of those rebroadcasts. That's more than enough to show an ongoing pattern of commercial exploitation, defamation, a continuous targeted harassment smear campaign, which is what he's done, right? Because I'll just tell you my arguments here, Mr. Defendant. You know, you're going to bring it up because you're thinking that if you can convince Judge Stacy to base her ruling or rulings on me being a limited purpose public figure, that you're going to have a better shot of getting this dismissed, right? Again, remember the four corners of the complaint. Right now, it's just showing that, hey, if what I've pleaded at this point is taken as true, which for the plaintiff, it has to be taken as true. If what I've pleaded is taken as true, is this something actionable? Yes. And what I've put in there, and I have proof on, is not only actionable, but it was also done with malice intent. And you have to also understand, sir, for the anti-SLAPP, everything that you've done since the complaint was filed, since the Second Amendment complaint was filed, all of those documents for the I believe you embezzled, all of that shows reckless disregard. It shows malice. It shows coordination with Miss T. All of that will be used against you for the anti-SLAPP portion. So again, either way, limited purpose public figure or not, I've already reached the higher standard. I have proof of the higher standard. All right. Can you hear me? Put a 1 in the chat. You can hear me. Somebody put a 1 in the chat. Can you hear me? Put a 1 in the chat, please. Put a 1 in the chat. It cut me off. I'm going to have to restart it here. I'll be right back. All right, we are back. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Put a 1 in the chat. You can hear me. Put a 1 in the live. We are back live. Put a 1 in the chat. You can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat. You can hear me. I saw the little circle start spinning, and then it came back, and nobody was responding. So I'm thinking I went offline. How long was I offline for, Tia, Dawn? How long was I offline for? One. How long, babe? How long was I offline for? Was it less than 30 seconds? All right, we are back live. We are back live. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me. 1 in the chat you can hear me and see me. I'm sorry, I keep getting the buffer thing, and then it comes back, and then it cuts off the sound. So I have to restart the app. Can you hear me again? 1 in the chat, please. Thank you. All right. Babe, let me know right away if it cuts out. Let me know right away. ODN, I didn't see your comment earlier. Someone wants to know. Those are not questions I'm going to answer over here, man. Okay. Well, I don't know. So, all right. So again, limited purpose, public figure or not, it doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter. But the truth of the matter is that I have the right to defend myself. I have the right to make people aware when people are saying false statements of criminality towards me, which is what you've done, especially with the embezzlement thing. You accused me of sexually harassing your mother even after it got dismissed from the stalking case. You continue to accuse me of that. It doesn't make me look good publicly. And just many other things. I think I'm gonna head back. I'm not gonna do the full trail today. Are we still good? Put a 1 in the chat, please. I don't know, Deanne. I'm not a big fan of tuna. And I know where you're going with that, man. It's not a big deal. Thank you for the one, Dawn and Tia. All right. I want to let you folks know that for the last 6 weeks, I've been working on a Judge Stacy roadmap of this hearing. It's 91 pages, but there's nothing new submitted. It's just basically putting everything together and also framing my arguments within this, and then also framing the arguments of the defendant as he, mentioned them in his motion to dismiss and anti-slap motion he filed 5.5 months ago or so. This document has Adobe Acrobat PDF bookmarks. It also has a clickable index, and every page at the top right has a return to index section. I'm basically going to be handing Judge Stacy the keys to the car, and she's going to drive the car. And that's what you're supposed to do. The judge drives the car, but you got to give the judge the keys to the car, right? So that document is finally done. I've been working on that for 6 weeks. It's very meticulous, very refined, very on point, very judge friendly, very friendly even to the defendant. And whenever I do a filing, I always take into consideration what would the defendant say to argue it. And then I phrase things in ways that make it harder for Mr. Jamie to argue things. He'll argue things, but if he argues something that is quite obvious to the average everyday person, including the judge, it's not going to make him look good if he argues something extremely obvious, right? So, I got that done. I've got some other packets I've been working on. I'm going to finalize those over the next few days. Those are just notes for me during the hearing. They will not be filed with the court. The Judge Stacy roadmap will be filed with the court. And I'm going to just do a couple more passes on it. I've run it through ChatGPT many times. I've manually double-checked it 2 times. I'm going to manually check it 2 more times. Shouldn't take me too long. And I will file it, with enough time so it hits the docket before the April 9th motion to dismiss / anti-slap hearing. I would prefer chicken salad, ODN. If you must know, I am not a big tuna fish fan. I'm not a seafood fan. I don't like seafood. I'm one of the few that doesn't like seafood. So there's your answer. Chicken salad. All right. I don't understand, man. Oh God. All right. Let me focus a little bit more on this video, which is what this hearing on Monday involves, right? For me, when it comes to doing anything, court or no court, I've always been proactive. I take the proactive approach. And in this case, I'm being proactive. You know, I told the defendant, if there are any videos you need, just let me know. I'll send them to you right away. I said, you know, give me 72 hours in case something comes up or I'm out of town for the day. But if I'm at home, I've got my own private server. I can typically get that back to you within the hour. And you know what? That shows good faith, right? But he's not showing me good faith in return, or he's not showing me, in my opinion, good faith at all. He's making it very difficult. Even for the spoliation hearing last month, I offered him those links. And then he deferred to the court again. He said, let the court handle it. We went to court, and he lost his motions. They got denied because I filed everything with the court. And then he said publicly on his stream a few weeks back, or a week and a half ago, and it took Eli 3 months to get me those. Well, you were offered those much sooner than the 3 months, and you turned them down. You were offered those, and you turned them down. So at that point, because you were pressing this spoliation thing, I had to put them all on the filing and send them to you that way. That took time to put together instead of me just having to send you all the links in an email. Here are the links. All good, right? You see, this guy, from what I've learned regarding Jamie, when he knows he's wrong about something or he's trying to get away with something, in my opinion, right? And then you try to hold him accountable, especially through a court case, he tries to always make his opponents work as hard and as much as possible. He intentionally forces the long road regarding everything. I've come across people like him before. They don't make anything easy because they typically can't win on the merits, so they try to make you work for everything, right? That's his strategy, right? That's how he's always done things. I've known him for over 8 years on this platform, and that's how he's always been, not just with me, but with everyone else, right? This is just one video. Are we still going through? One in the chat? Yeah, thank you, Tia. Make people aware, ODN, that you and I are going live about an hour or so after this stream ends, and we're going to be going over the defendant's comments on his stream. We're going to be correcting the record, which we have the right to do that. If he talks about us and it paints us in a negative light, we have the right to correct that without automatically being turned into a limited purpose public figure. Like, this guy thinks like people aren't allowed to defend themselves against him. He thinks if you defend yourself against his allegations to try to protect your reputation, that it's automatically a controversy injected yourself into, and it's a publicly concerning controversy, right? Which it's not. This is no big deal. It's actually quite stupid, right? Now, the way I'm being violated is not stupid. But the way he's trying to present it, in my opinion, is he's trying to, play every card possible to try and get this case dismissed on April 9th, because if he doesn't, at that point, he's looking at very costly litigation, because he's thinking of hiring an attorney. Now, lo and behold, I know how the guy works. He might hire an attorney at the last minute, and he might have the attorney file a notice of appearance the morning of the hearing and still show up. That is a possibility, and that is legal, right? But if he does do that at the last minute, the judge will probably ask, because it was such short notice, if I want a continuance. And at that point, in the past I was saying, I'll just tackle it head on. I'm pro se all the way, but if he has an attorney filing notice of appearance at the very last minute, and I'm given an option to request a continuance, I may just do that. It's not because I'm not ready. It's because I want to know the game plan of the attorney. And if the attorney files everything at the very last minute, I'm not going to have time to review it. Right? So, just saying, Mr. Defendant, if you're going to hire counsel for this hearing, I would probably at least give it a week, or at least 3 or 4 days. If you do it at the very last minute, it might involve an actual continuance at this time. And no, I'm not afraid of losing the MTD anti-SLAPP. But I'm also not going to get blindsided by a last-minute attorney appearing that morning, filing something, and then me not having an adequate amount of time to analyze it and look it over. And that would be, even if Judge Stacy didn't offer a continuance, that would be a good argument for me to ask for one. It'd be a very valid reason. I don't want to delay this at all. I don't. I'm just saying, hey, I know how you work. You play games. You try to take out your oppositions, in my opinion, by trying to be sneaky, by trying to catch them off guard, right? You typically, Jamie, can never ever win on the merits. So what you try to do is either win by default or win by sneaking something past your opponent when they're not looking, right? Or doing something at the very last minute, right? Fortunately for me, I'm prepared for anything. Even if there could be a possibility that that Jamie has an attorney hired and they file a notice of appearance the morning of the hearing. I could ask for a continuance and Judge Stacy could deny it. I'm prepared for that too. I'm looking at all angles. I'm looking at everything. But I don't think Judge Stacy would deny a continuance if somebody filed a notice of appearance to represent the defendant the morning of the hearing. I think that would be a pretty good argument. Right? I mean, do I think he's going to hire an attorney? I don't think he is. At this point, I think if the case survives, he will hire an attorney. Because at that point, the stakes become higher. That's when we get into the real discovery, right? That's when we start to do depositions, mediations, and that's when we start to, request discovery. So, we'll see. We're going to see what happens. We're going to hope for the best, right? Hey, Sandra, I didn't see you. Hey, Will, how you doing? Will, do me a favor. Will, can you send me... Will, are we still connected on Facebook? Will, if you're still... I think we're still connected on Facebook. If not, I'll double check. I'll connect with you. But either that, can you send me an email to eliasmelas at genuinenetworkingassociation.org? It's in the description. Or... if we're still connected on Facebook, send me a message there, or I'll look for you later tonight or tomorrow. I would love to reconnect, man. Hey, how you doing, Sandra? Yeah, Will is a really good guy. Will is a really good guy that has always been you've always been a good guy, Will. I've always had faith in you, man. I'm glad that we've talked in the past, and I'm glad that you took actions to better your life and get yourself out of some situations that weren't moving you forward. Start my new job today. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Doing good, and I can. Yeah, I'll look too. I'll reconnect because man, it'd be great to have you on some panels again. I think you remember ODN. ODN is doing a lot of panels. I don't do a lot of panels really anymore on my channels. I just because they're monetized. It's monetized, and they get crazy, and I just don't want to risk getting demonetized. But ODN's doing a lot of panels over on our end, and I'm sure he would love to have you on, man. Oh, yeah, that's good, that's good. I can't even read the screen there. Oh, you're thinking of the word that starts with E? Uh-huh. I get it. So you're thinking that embezzlement video that has a caricature of me and a caricature of the defendant, right? Is not going to be recognizable. Not all parody is shielded. You kept republishing it after notice. And you even said on a stream outside of that, you accused me of embezzlement because you said that I said that to a friend of yours that used to be a friend of mine, which I never did say that to her. So I know you're full of it, Jamie. I know you're full of it. I know you know the real story regarding that. I know that you knew 4 or 5 years ago. Actually, ODN sent me videos, and I have them somewhere. I'm going to look for them because I could even use them as pattern evidence. Probably won't have them in time for the anti-slap, but I could use them for the rest of the case. the days 4 or 5 years ago when you were first talking about the embezzlement, when you knew that that was a made-up thing, right? You knew that was a made-up thing back then. I could use that as pattern evidence because you republished it within the statutory period of defamation, which is 2 years, right? So I can say, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, the defendant started saying this 4 or 5 years ago. I never ever told anyone I did something that never happened. That can be proven by contacting the former owner of the business. They've sold the business since. That can be proven by contacting my brother. That can be proven by me having no criminal history. Right? This is pattern evidence because it is time barred, but he repeated the same defamatory statement within the statutory period. So now it's actionable. We've got the time barred past proof, right? Showing it's been repeated over the years, and it's been repeated several times during the statutory period. And here's the thing, Jamie. Here's the thing. Do you believe everything that everyone tells you? Like if somebody were to tell you that this person has a criminal history, I'm just saying as an example, I'm not mentioning names. If someone were to tell you that this specific person has a criminal history, this is what they've done, would you just go out and talk about it without verifying it? Because that's what you did regarding this embezzlement thing. See, the thing, Jamie, is I think you knew it was BS all along the way. And you were playing it up to your audience because it kept on getting you attention and donations, and you never thought I was going to sue you. Now that I'm suing you, now you've got to backtrack. Now you've got to get other people to backtrack, right? It's all made up, dude. It was all made up. Now, if you were led to believe something was true that wasn't, then that's not me. Right? But even if somebody told you something and they tried to get you to believe it was true, why wouldn't you verify it? Why wouldn't you verify it before continuously talking about it? Because it was so profitable to you, right? You wanted to continue commercially exploit me like you've been doing for the last 6+ years. Hey, welcome back, Lewis. You remember Lewis, Will? Well, once I verify that's you behind the scenes, I will moderate you here, okay? That's a new account you have, right? Yeah, once I verify it's you behind the scenes, we'll re-moderate you. And again, yeah, man, it'd be great to have you on some panels, man. I miss those panels we used to run. Well, you don't think I'm boring. You're coming here trolling me, so obviously you don't think I'm boring, right? You don't think I'm boring, right, James? No, I get it. I always verify it anyway, but I get it. I mean, if I'm that boring, then I wouldn't even be troll-worthy. The reason why I'm troll-worthy is because I'm not boring, and I know exactly what I'm doing. You see, I'll tell you this. I'm gonna give it to you all straight because, again, And later tonight, Odin and I are going to be responding to what Jamie said on his stream. And then from this point on until both Bill and Jamie stop using me and my name and likeness as their content, right? Until they stop the restreams and all that, then we're going to continue to review their stuff in real time. That's just the way it's going to go, you know? I mean, hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? I mean, that's just the way it goes. And yeah, you know, here's the thing. You know, Jamie, if you want to say, oh, you're working through third parties, well, you're doing the same thing, right? Right? Here's the difference, Jamie. ODN is my friend. He's an executive member of the GNA. He has permission to use my content, right? We are working together. You can call him a third party. Here's the difference between the streams ODN and I do regarding your content and Bill's, is the fact that we're not monetizing it on ODN's channel. I'm not asking for any donations. I'm not commercially exploiting you. All I'm doing is responding to you in real time. So you cannot sit there and remotely come close to accusing us of doing anything wrong, because we're not commercially exploiting you like you're doing to me, right? But we do have the right to defend ourselves in real time, because things fly fast out here. And if you don't defend yourself in real time, in essence, like they say, you could get canceled, right? And for the record, I don't believe in cancel culture. I don't give a shit about cancel culture. Is it a real thing? Sure, it is, right? Do you want to know something? I've probably been canceled 100 times over the last 6+ years for reasons I believe to be outside of my control. Do you want to know something? Every time I get canceled, figuratively speaking, per se, whatever, right? I keep coming back. And I believe in myself, and I believe in my purpose. And I have my moments, I have my days. Like yesterday, and here I am. Today's a different day. And there's a huge difference in contrast between you and I, James. There really is a huge difference, right? Hey, ball tires in the rain. You know what? When I verify that's you, then we can moderate you here too, because any friend of ODN's is a friend of mine. Oh yeah, yes, I couldn't breathe. That I had a panic attack. I had 2 panic attacks, and that's part of my emotional distress. So, absolutely, thank you for reminding me of when I had one of 2 panic attacks. That's called intentional infliction of emotional distress. And you want to know something? I would never, ever, ever put out any type of content like that on anyone. First of all, I would never record anyone having a moment like that. You know, the things that these people have done to try to exploit me commercially, despicable. But I will say this. Most of the people that were involved at that level with Jamie have severely backed off. There's some of them still have some fun every now and then, but they're not doing those things anymore. And I think they've realized that really wasn't those really weren't the best things to do in the first place, right? Yeah. ODN, how's ODN doing on his end over there? I tell you, ODN, God bless you, man. I really appreciate you. I appreciate the whole entire executive team. My lovely lady Dawn, of the GNA, Director of Operations. And then we have Sandra, the Director of Public Affairs. Or sorry, Public Relations. Same thing, Public Affairs, Public Relations. She's the PR person, the Director of PR. Tia, the Director of Special Events. And I forgot I had a title for ODM, but I couldn't remember what it was. But I believe ODN was going to be our content/copyright specialist expert. Because I'll tell you, I learned a lot about copyright from ODN years ago. I haven't forgotten that, broski. Even after everything that we've been through because of these people, right? I don't forget the things that people do for me. And I learned about the U.S. Copyright Office, also known as the U.S. Library of Congress, where you file your copyright certificates to be able to sue someone, whether it's in the Copyright Claims Board, also known as Small Claims Copyright Court, or in Federal District Copyright Court. Donnie, how you doing? How you been? It's been a while. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Can you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me? Put a 1 in the chat. 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me. Thank you. Wow, we just had 30 people here, and now it's 3. Wow, now it's 5. Wow, people really, when you go offline, people just jump. Wow, it's like, holy Moses, right? No, I was not getting botted, Bill. Not at 30. If it was like 90, different story. And Bill, hey, you want to talk about self-awareness? You want to talk about self-awareness? See, Bill, here's the thing. I'm not here to judge you or question your self-awareness, yours or James. I care about 2 things, Bill. I care about my copyright, and I care about my reputation. And those are legally protected. That's all I care about. Okay? Everything else, Bill, is just a bunch of noise. The bottom line is you continue to commercially exploit me because it's very easy for you to do, and you have nothing else. Just like Jamie, same thing, right? And that's okay. Now, it's not okay, but hey, whatever. I'm letting it be okay for the time being until I can get my relief in court. Gotta tell you, it's a beautiful day. Babe, it's a beautiful day out here today. And until I get relief in court with an injunction and otherwise, what's going to stop you guys? You guys think you're above the law. You guys feel that the First Amendment and fair use, Section 107 of U.S. copyright law, you feel both those aspects are catch-all. You feel that it's absolute because you say it is. You see, what I'd really like to hear you say, Bill and Jamie, if you guys are real, true, good people, good men, what I'd like to hear you all say is that there are 4 factors of copyright. Bill, why don't you pull up right now on your StreamYard? Why don't you go to a Google browser and why don't you show your audience what are the 4 factors of fair use? And read each one of them. The only one that you and Jamie read is transformative in nature for the purposes of criticism, commentary, and transformative in nature. You're missing 3 other factors. The amount used, the amount and substantiality. You're also missing the effect on the marketplace. And I'm sitting here telling you exactly what you guys are doing is affecting me. I'm telling you exactly how it's affecting me. So why aren't you reading all 4 aspects of fair use? Do you understand, Billy Boy? I'm just asking you a fair question. Jamie, I'm asking you a fair question to answer on your stream. Answer on your community wall. You won't. You will not answer questions that you know don't make you look good. There are 4 factors to fair use. How come you're not comparing what you're doing to me with full restreams and not applying the amount and substantiality and the effect on the marketplace? Why aren't you doing that? Because you would have to publicly admit guilt to your audience? Well, I'll tell you what, when we go to federal copyright court, you're going to have to explain to the judge why you don't understand all factors of fair use, not just as long as you do commentary. As long as you do commentary, no. That's not how it works. There are 4 factors. Louis, the way I see it, when trolls talk, the haters talk and talk crap about people, it's all coming out of their mouth. It's just a bunch of gas. Yeah, a bunch of gas, a bunch of noise, right, Louis? I'm jealous. I went outside for a minute of that beautiful sunshine. Well, baby, it was too hot to take you out the last few days. You want to come out when it's like this. It's going to get down to about 70, and then you can come do a walk with me. How's that? We'll do a walking with purpose stream together. Right? I keep forgetting to remind people, if you want to support the channel, you can super chat, super sticker. You can send a Cash App or PayPal. Nightbot sharing the link if you're here live every 7 minutes. If you're here on the replay, I believe at least the PayPal link is in the description. I may have to still add the Cash App, but it's right now on the live stream. And even when the replay gets finally processed, you can see Nightbot in the chat. Let me come back this way. There's somebody coming over there. I'll come around the other way so I don't interrupt them. So how come, Bill, Jamie, how come you guys leave a lot of substance out of your conversations? We're actually going to, Odian and I are going to address that tonight when we go over what happened on Jamie's stream last night, where once again Bill was on there. So, you know, we're going to discuss it. We're going to break it down. And we're going to be real about it. Because Jamie and Bill leave out all of the meat and potatoes. They dumb everything down in a way that's just enough for their audience to continue believing their hogwash that they say about people like me, right? All right? I mean, you know, anyone can go and do a Google search and find out the actual meaning of fair use and compare it to what Jamie and Bill are doing to me and other people have done to me for the last 6+ years through Jamie's community, commercially exploit me, running watch parties. The amount of substantiality. Why don't you folks in Jamie's group and Bill's group? It is Jamie's group. Bill's just a member of the group, right? Right? Why don't you folks do your own Google search? And you'll realize that every single thing that they say about me is exaggerated or not true. Why don't you do that? And here's the thing. I think ODN would be cool with this. But if any one of you from that group over there watching the rebroadcast from either end, if you want to come and join ODN and I on the panel for a little bit, and you want to have your say with me or ODN, let us know in the chat. And I'll put the link in the chat because I know it's hard for ODN to do while he's on stream. He'll send me the link and I'll put it in there with my mod shield. I was going to say mod wrench. They're all mod shields now. And the palm trees are much more beautiful here in California than in Florida. I'm going to say that just because I'm from California. And I have a reason to really not be happy with the state of Florida after 3 people, including the guy I'm suing right now, partially for malicious prosecution, 3 people from that state, all part of his ecosystem, all part in this filing that you're going to see, James. All 3 of them try to get a stalking order on me in Florida. The first 2 failed to appear, and Jamie appeared, perjured himself by saying he no longer feels safe from me, and then a few days after that on the stream, he said, "I'm not afraid of that bitch boy." That's what he said, right? It's all been filed with the court. That's going to go really well for you regarding malicious prosecution, James. I mean, you try to basically lie to the court and try to get a stalking order on me, accusing me of sexually harassing your mother. And then you brought your mother to the court and you were going to have her testify. What were you going to have her testify? I'm wondering, what was your mother going to testify that I did to her 2,000 miles away? Because I made commentary on something you put out there publicly? Because you had Tammy get in your ear and you allowed her to convince you to try to get a stalking order on me like she convinced Patty to do the same thing. She publicly admitted that she would encourage anyone to file in these situations. I have that video where she did that. I filed it with the court. That's already been filed with the court. Don't also forget that your buddy Tammy James tried to intervene in the case without leave of court, without getting permission from Judge Stacy. That's going to go really well for you at the anti-slap. And beyond that, right? You've been trying to come at me pretty hard lately, James. And I'll tell you this, you've been trying to do things that would trigger most people, right? And quite frankly, I'm not going to let you trigger me. Could it be triggering? Sure. You're very, very good at antagonizing people. You're very, very good at antagonizing a response and a reaction. I will respond to you calmly. I have my moments, but I will still do my best to respond calmly and make sense of what I'm saying rather than responding emotionally, right? I have never seen any one single man react so emotional. And still be respected as a good, strong man. See, Jamie, that's why a lot of people have probably questioned the way that you are. Because you're very emotionally overreacted. Babe, if you have a quote, can you get it in now, please? Give me a second. Respectfully, maturely, professionally, Dawn, her quote of the day is, even in the hardest moments, a hopeful mind becomes the light that leads you forward. One more time. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Dawn's quote, even in the hardest moments, a hopeful mind becomes the light that leads you forward. I'm going to get going. We're at, what was that, 83 minutes? A lot longer than I was supposed to be on or thought I'd be on. 1 hour from now, ODN, when I get home, I got to go grab some food for Don and I real quick. When I get home, I will message you, and then we can start about 5 to 10 minutes after that. You should be hearing from me in about 35 to 45 minutes. With that being said, have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Thank you.